People expect truth to arrive like a door being thrown open. They want one moment, one sentence, one clear sign that explains everything at once. But that is rarely how truth enters a life. Most of the time, it comes quietly. A detail that does not fit. A silence that lasts too long. A story repeated so often that no one thinks to question it. Then years pass. And one day, what seemed certain begins to crack. This is an old story about a daughter, a father, a lost sister, and a small wooden box that changed the meaning of an entire life. In a village of clay houses and narrow paths lived a potter named Darren and his two daughters. The older one was called Ira. The younger one was Luma. Their mother died when Luma was still a child. After that, the house changed. The laughter became rare. The work grew heavier. The days felt longer than before. For a little while, Ira held the house together. She baked bread. She washed their mother's clothes. She tied Lume's hair in the morning. She sat beside their father when he spoke to no one else. Luma loved her more than anyone. Then, one spring morning, Ira was gone. She left before sunrise. She took a shawl, a pair of sandals, and their mother's carved comb from the shelf beside the bed. That was all. No letter, no goodbye, no promise to return. When Garin found the empty sleeping mat, something hard entered him. He did not shout. He only looked at the missing comb and said, "Now we know what kind of heart leaves first." Luma never forgot those words. The village made the story larger, as villages often do. Some said Ira had run away with a passing trader. Some said she was tired of poverty. Some said kind daughters stay and selfish daughters leave. Darren never corrected them. He let the story stand. Luma was too young to question it. She simply lived inside it. At first, she cried for her sister every night. Then she stopped crying and began learning how to stay. She carried water. She kneaded clay. She swept the kill floor before dawn. She became the daughter who remained. Years passed. Luma grew into a quiet woman with strong hands and careful habits. People trusted her because she never disappeared, never refused, never caused trouble. If Darren was ill, she worked alone. If an order was late, she stayed awake to finish it. If neighbors needed bowls or jars repaired, she found time. Sometimes people praised her in ways that sounded kind but felt heavy. You are not like your sister. You stayed. Your father was given one faithful child. Luma accepted these words because they fit the life she had built. She had become good by becoming the opposite of Ira. That was the hidden tragedy. She did not only lose her sister, she built herself around the wound. When marriage offers came, Luma refused them. Darren was growing older. The kill needed tending. The house still stood because she did. She told herself duty was enough. Sometimes, late at night, she wondered what kind of woman Ira had become. Then she would remember the missing comb, the empty mat, the silence of that spring morning, and her heart would close again. Truth appeared slowly, but falsehood can also grow slowly when no one disturbs it. One autumn, many years later, a boy came to the house. He was perhaps 12. Thin, sun-browned, carrying a small wooden box wrapped in faded cloth. Darren was in the workshop. Luma opened the door. The boy looked at her for a long moment and said, "Are you Luma, daughter of Darren?" She nodded. He swallowed once, then held out the bundle. "My mother told me to bring this here if she died before returning." Something inside Luma tightened. "Who was your mother?" she asked. The boy answered with a name that seemed to stop the air. Ira. Darren had heard it too. He came to the doorway so suddenly that the stool behind him fell over. For a moment, no one spoke. The boy lowered his eyes. She died at the end of summer. Luma felt her hands go cold around the edge of the door. She had imagined many things about Ira over the years. Ease, escape, a careless life, a selfish one, never death. Darren's face had gone pale, but his voice remained hard. "Why did she send you here?" The boy held the box tighter. "She said the truth belonged in this house, even if it came late." No one moved. At last, Luma stepped aside and let him enter. A box was placed on the table. It was old, scratched at the corners, tied shut with a thin leather cord. Luma noticed at once that the cord was looped around their mother's carved comb. For years she had remembered that comb as proof of theft. Now it lay before her like a question. Doreen stared at it as though it were something alive. "Open it," the boy said quietly. Luma untied the cord. Inside the box lay letters. Many letters, some worn soft by time, some still stiff. Beneath them was a small cloth purse heavy with coins. Luma looked at her father. He did not tell her to stop, so she opened the first letter. It was written in a hurried hand she still somehow recognized. "Father," it began, "do not let Luma think I left because I wanted freedom. Mother put the comb in my hand herself. She said one of us had to go with the healer's wagon and pay the debt before they took our kill and the house. She made me promise not to wake Luma. She said if the younger one saw me leave, she would cling to me and make the parting crueler. Tell her I kissed her hair before dawn. Tell her I took the comb because Mother said I must carry a piece of home until I could return." Luma stopped reading. The room had changed, or perhaps only the story inside it had. She looked at Darren, waiting for him to speak. He did not. His eyes stayed on the table. Her hands shook as she reached for the next letter. It spoke of long work in another valley, of wages sent home, of hope that the debt had lessened, of love for Luma, of a promise to return when she could. Luma opened another and another. Years of them. Some letters carried coins. Some asked forgiveness for absence. Some begged for a reply. All of them spoke the same truth. Ira had not run away. She had been sent. No, worse than that, she had gone to save them. Luma could not breathe properly. She turned to her father at last. "You knew?" Darren sat down slowly, as if his bones had lost their strength. "Yes," he said. One word, small, useless, heavy as stone. "Why?" Luma asked. Her voice did not rise. That made it more painful. Darren pressed both hands to his face. "Because I could not bear what it made me." The boy sat silent in the corner. Darren lowered his hands. "The healer wanted payment. We had no grain, no silver, nothing left. Your mother was already dying. The kill debt was due. Ira heard everything. She offered herself before I could speak." His voice broke, then steadied. "She said one child leaving was better than all of us losing the house." Luma stared at him. "She was 16. I know. And you let the village call her selfish." Darren closed his eyes. "At first I told myself I would explain it later. Then the story spread. Later became harder. Each season I waited made me smaller. When her letters came, I hid them. I told myself I was protecting you from pain." His mouth tightened. "The truth is, I was protecting myself from shame." Luma looked at the letters, the coins, the comb, the boy who had carried all of it across miles, because a dying woman had asked him to. Then she saw the whole shape of her life. The praise she had accepted, the marriages she had refused, the bitterness she had fed in silence, the sister she had judged without trial, the father she had served without knowing what his silence had cost them both. Truth appeared slowly, but when it finally stood clear, it rearranged everything behind it. Luma asked the boy, "Who are you?" "My name is Tomas," he said. "She raised me after my parents died of fever. She never married. She worked in a dye house. She kept this box by her bed for many years." Luma lowered herself into a chair. "Never married. Worked for years. Sent money home. Waited. And all that time, this house had spoken of her as if she had chosen herself over love." Darren began to weep then. Not loudly, not beautifully. like a man who had been rotting from the inside for many years and had finally split open. Luma did not go to him. Not yet. That night she read every letter. Some were hopeful. Some were tired. One was stained by rain. One had only a few lines because Ira had worked through a fever and could barely hold the pen. In the last letter, Ira wrote, "If the truth comes too late, let it still come. Late truth still frees what falsehood held for years." By dawn, Luma understood something that changed her forever. The deepest wounds in a family are not always made by cruelty. Sometimes they are made by silence, shame, and the story people repeat because it is easier than the truth. Doreen lived 3 more winters. Luma did not leave him, but neither did she remain the same daughter. She spoke less softly. She accepted fewer praises. When villagers said, "At least one daughter stayed," she answered, "The other saved this house before I was old enough to carry water." People were startled, then quiet. Then slowly they began to understand. That is how truth works. It does not only appear slowly, it also changes people slowly once it arrives. When Darren died, Luma buried him beside her mother. Then she planted a young almond tree near the kill and laid the carved comb in the earth beneath it, not to hide it, to return it. Years later, the tree gave shade to the yard, and children often played there while Luma told them stories. Not sweet ones, true ones. She would say, "Be careful what story you live inside." A lie repeated for years can shape a whole life. And when the truth finally comes, you may discover you were grieving the wrong person, serving the wrong fear, or carrying a judgment that never belonged to you. That is the moral of this story. Truth appears slowly, not because it is weak, because people hide from it in layers: pride, habit, silence, shame, loyalty, fear. But when it does appear, it asks something of us. Not only that we see differently, that we live differently. So if there is a story in your life that has stood for many years without being questioned, do not trust it too quickly just because it is old. Some of the deepest falsehoods are the ones families learn to call memory. And some of the holiest moments in a human life come when the truth finally arrives late, painful, undeniable, and sets the whole heart in a new order. If this story stayed with you, write slow truth in the comments. If it made you think of a silence that shaped your own life, share it with someone who might understand. And subscribe for more stories that uncover the truths people often meet only after many years.